heat's about to come everywhere, the Midwest, the Plains, the East, so let's get started. Alright, this is around like 3 p.m. today. We can see in Oklahoma, we're in the 90s, 80s in South Dakota parts, 80s in Iowa, 80s in Illinois, 80s in Ohio, we can see also. And we can see tomorrow morning already at 10 a.m. we're in the 80s in Oklahoma, 80s in Illinois. We can see 80s in Ohio already at 11 a.m. tomorrow, 70s in Kentucky, 70s in Tennessee, 70s in Arkansas. We can see 70s in Louisiana. Then we can see noon tomorrow, we're 80s in Kansas, 80s in Oklahoma. Then we can see 1 o'clock tomorrow on Friday, we're 90s in North Carolina, 80s in Virginia, 80s in PA, and 80s in New Jersey. Then we can see 4 o'clock on Kansas, we're in the 90s, Oklahoma, we're in the 90s, 80s in Arkansas, 80s in Illinois, we can see also. Then we can see Friday, 5 p.m., we're in the 90s in North Carolina, Virginia, PA, 90s in New Jersey. Then Friday evening is even looking warm, we're in the 80s, 80s in Missouri, 80s in Illinois, 70s in Arkansas, and 80s in Louisiana. And the same thing for the East here, 80s in Virginia, 80s in PA, 70s in New York, 70s in South Carolina, and 70s in Tennessee. Alright, then we have Saturday here at 11 a.m. We're in the 80s in Kansas, 80s in South Dakota, we can see 80s in Missouri, 80s in Illinois, and 80s in Kentucky. Then we can see 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. We have 90s potentially in South Dakota, 90s in Wyoming, 90s in maybe part of Montana, 80s in Kansas, 90s in Missouri, 90s in Illinois, 90s in Kentucky. We see Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama too. And also Friday's dew points, it's really going to be muggy in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. We can see Illinois. We can even see Wisconsin, Iowa. Alright, we got Saturday afternoon. We're really muggy again. We can see in Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Illinois. Dew points in the 70s we can see. But thank you for watching this video, guys. I see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.